Hi YouTube, welcome back to another video where I sit and talk as usual. And today I'm talking about not needing a closure because you don't need one. And I know it's been a while since I, gave you a real talk, and I like to do real talks from time to time. Great angle. You don't need a closure. Whatever you're going through, you don't need a closure simply because if you are meant to have a closure, you would have got one. And the fact that you are not, having one, it means like you better move on without it. And I mean it. I mean it simply because I've been through a lot in my life where I felt like maybe I need to have a conversation, one final conversation. One this, one that, and then the reality is I'm not accepting the reality. That's pretty much it. I'm trying to find a better angle. Yay, this one is better, but still, I still have the light. Okay, this one is better. You don't need to have a closure simply because most things that we are looking to have closure from are things that are already giving us the closure that we need. And I mean it from a place where spending time explaining yourself or spending time trying to correct someone else's behavior is really not an investment that you want to make long term, and you just don't want to associate yourself or put yourself in a position where you always have to explain yourself, always have to explain your actions, always have to explain things to the other people around you. So if you're in a place where it doesn't feel right to keep doing it, and trust your gut, just trust your gut in any way, shape, or form. I've been through situations and I've been through phases in my life where I felt like explaining myself or allowing the other people to understand exactly how it feels like to be put in that spot or how it feels like to go through this or blah, blah, blah was the right thing. But reality is I was wrong. Sometimes you don't need to nurture things. Sometimes you need to just sit down, be silent, watch it. And whatever you're watching, it's basically the answer, the closure that you need. I'm recently working on, healing from new trauma simply because when you start therapy, you think that it's all gonna disappear, but it's like you're just unlocking different levels. So the last thing that I would want for myself is to associate myself with people that are emotionally stupid. And literally, that's not my goal in life. If that's your goal, then congrats. Leave this video. If it's not, then stay on this video because we're on the path together. I really wanted to have closure from a lot of things in my life, oh, why that person did that, let me just have a conversation. But some people, they don't have the same level of communication, and I learned that not everyone will understand you as you do, and not everyone will love you as you do. That's your job. You do. Not them. That's yours. And the fact that I had to just reflect on myself and sit and be like, you know what? Yeah, I was wrong on, doing this or doing that. And now this is the new behavior that I'm taking forward. And this is what I'm trying to do. Mind you, I had anxious attachment style and I worked through it to become secured simply because I started seeing people for what they are, not what they say, not what they do. Just the vision that I see in front of me and how I feel about it is all I need to know. I don't need to know too much around that. And I'm still working on trusting people again and allowing them to enter my space and be vulnerable. Allowing myself to be vulnerable was a challenge because simply I had this in my head before where I was afraid to let people in so they can ruin my space. But I learned that what if they are gonna be good people, and what if they are bad? I'm just gonna accept the rejection. I'm just gonna accept whatever I'm going through, and I don't need to overthink it. I don't need to overanalyze. Oh, look at the shiny. But yeah, it's that's what I was craving. I was craving closures from every single relationship I went through. And I was always the person that is, emotionally intelligent, that it's like aware of like how the other person is thinking, and always, walking on eggshells just to make sure that the other person is not getting their emotions hurt. And that used to be how I dealt with things until I start learning the tools needed, which I'm about to share here on this video, to actually not do that. So I start listening to myself more. I start pouring love and care into myself more. I start caring more about my emotions, because most of the time, these people that I cared about their emotions, they never cared about mine. So it's like, and they're right about that. They just mind their business. And it's true. Like, you cannot blame people, because most of the situations that you're going through are 50-50. You cannot be a victim. You're also practicing or participating in this in any shape or form. So do not take yourself out of the equation. I would say look at yourself in the equation. And this would help you a lot. Not because it's going to solve your problems or it's going to put you in, let's say, it's not going to put you in a situation solve type of status, but it's going to help you understand what was wrong with whatever you were doing. So I was like just analyzing things for myself and reflecting on my 50% of the problem, and it turns out like no, I have to just, whatever I was pouring into this situation, I have to just pour it into myself moving forward. I don't need to nurture this. I need to nurture me. I need to be fully present. So I go through these, having, from anxious avoidant to secure. It's a really, really challenge, because you're someone that is on a survival mode, and you're just learning how to be free from that, and also understanding that being in that position is not going to allow you to find your people, so you better change. So it's like, how can I say this? That's why I'm talking about the closures, simply because once you have clear understanding on this situation that I'm in is no longer serving me, and it won't serve the best version that I'm trying to accomplish, and it's painful to stay, and it is also painful to change, but you're going to choose the pain to change, and you're not going to settle for the pain that you have right now. So that's what I went through. And let me tell you, it is, and it's still challenging, because from time to time you get triggers, you get flashbacks, you get like a lot of things associated with it, but it's like you had your closure. You already know that this is not good for you, and you don't need anyone to validate that. You need yourself to validate that. Like, you don't need anyone to tell you like this is painful. You do know it's painful, but only you. You don't have to have people or external validation to tell you like, oh my God, this, whatever you're going through is painful. So acknowledging that what you're going through is painful, but then staying in that position is even more painful. So whatever you're gonna think of is basically, let me transform. Let me just change that. Let me just work on something else, which is gonna be so painful and so different and so new, and it will bring like a lot of challenges with it. You will have to go through the emotional, worms and stores and whatever going there. But it's like the reward after you go through that is way better than staying where you are. So that's really what I experienced. And you know what? I started like looking at most of my relationships differently. So it's like, if a friendship is based on only me pouring into it, only me reaching out, only me putting putting plans, putting actions, doing this, doing that. If I stopped and that relationship dies, guess what? I was the one pouring my energy into it. I was the one, trying to make something alive, when that thing was meant for 2 people or 3 people or 4 people to just collaborate on and put together. And don't get me wrong, like, I now, thank God I have this space, I have this circle, I have a space where I can vent, people that support me, and I'm so grateful to have each one of them. But I learned along the way that allowing myself to be vulnerable around the right people was the best decision ever, because it allowed me to build that kind of foundation to, have the checkups and but that doesn't mean like we talk every day, or we barely, like sometimes we spend months without talking. But when there is something going, we have we have a rule that whatever you're going through, you talk about it immediately. You don't sleep on it and wake up the next day. Do you know how many people got sick, like paralyzed, simply because they went to bed mad, or they went to bed angry? Like, it's so bad to go and sleep and then wake up the next morning with the same stress. I'm saying this because I hear like a lot of people saying like, oh, let me just sleep on it and then tomorrow I'll solve it. No. Whatever emotion that you need to go through today, go through it today. You cannot sleep and then wake up the next morning to solve it. It's just gonna cause a lot of problems into your health. But again, this is me caring about my health. Probably not everyone care about their health. It's like I had to sort of like parent myself and unlearn a lot of things. Like, one of them is this thing. Like, it's so stupid to tell someone else like sleep on it and make a decision tomorrow. Like, that's totally fine if it's like buying a shoe or buying a shirt. But if it's emotions, you cannot do this. You cannot sleep mad, you cannot sleep sad, you cannot sleep anxious, or or having panic attacks. Most of these people would either die, have like a lot of health problems, get paralyzed, as I said, and the list goes on. This is wrong. Do not follow this culture, because it's so wrong to have this mindset of like, oh, sleep on it, tomorrow you'll be fine. No. Talk about it, find your people, do something that would make you feel better. Do something healthy that would make you feel better. Like, just sit with it, acknowledge. If you need to cry, if you need to journal, if you need to call someone and talk about it, if you don't have all of these, grab your phone, hold the voice note and talk about it. Have videos, put a video and start talking about it. It's way better than, sleeping on it. It's really way better than that, because I've been there, done that, and it's not a good thing. Most of the health problems that I got was actually from this. And it was like the worst advice that I've ever took or I've ever had. So yeah, it's like, that's why I'm telling you, like, most things, they don't need closure, and you don't need to nurture everything in your life. You just have to observe. You have to learn the art of like being silent and to observe things as they are, not how you imagine them to be, not how you picture them to be. Because our brains are designed to just put us in like a really lovely place, to keep us safe, to protect us, and but being aware of how your brain works, how your body works, is like the best thing you can do for yourself. For me, I cannot go to sleep sad. If I'm mad, I have to let go. I have to let it out of my system. I've never been a person that would just keep something inside of them and let it grow. I tried. Not gonna lie to you, I try to keep it together. I try to sleep on it, as they said. I tried like all of these things, and guess what? Where they get me? Nowhere. So we're not doing this. I'm not giving this advice, and it needs to stop. I'm breaking this cycle. I am gonna break this cycle for you. So this is pretty much it. Whatever you're going through, go through it. And the fact that I'm talking about like having closures out of everything in your life, I guess it's also going to bring like a lot of, storms of like expectations. Because why you do have this, or why are you watching this video, is simply because you want to have an answer. You want to have, that person saying something to you that they're not saying. You have a lot of expectations, and your expectations are setting you to this feeling. So I want to tell you one thing: do not have expectation out of people. Have expectation out of yourself. If you're a good person, you don't need to have people agreeing that you're a good person. Be okay to be misunderstood. Be okay to go through the worst feelings, and nobody would stick around and show up for you, because this will show you what kind of support or what kind of people you have. And it's like every time I talk about this, it's really emotionally deep conversation for me to, share it with y'all. But all, like all the disappointment that I got, all the frustration that I got was when I start expecting things from people. I was expecting things from people the same way I would deliver. And that's why I added the last word, which is the same way I would deliver, simply because usually I would just get disappointed and be like, oh, okay, again, like I was expecting this from a human being. What can I do? But now I have this idea of like, I'm expecting this because I would do the same exact thing. I'm expecting this because I am fully capable of doing the exact same thing. Like, that's why I'm expecting it. So I started looking at things of like, okay, this is my standard and this is what I like and this is what I would deliver. So if I don't see that in people, I'm no longer getting disappointed because they're not me and I'm not them. I will never be them and they will never be me. Done. So I started just gaining closures differently, like not how I used to. I used to sort of like, have a million lesson and not get my lesson. Like I would just have life throwing all these lessons on me and not be aware of like why I'm going through what I'm going through. But now it's like every time I go through something, I'll be like, what am I supposed to learn? What is the one thing that I'm, repeating? What is my pattern here? Like, even if you're using ChatGPT as your therapist, all of us do, coach or prompt it to help you see the pattern that you have and the habits that you keep repeating, and prompt it also to help you gain tools or working step by step on changing the pattern or changing the habit or investing in new habits, and ask if you have like new healthy habits and how you can nurture them, because this is how you get to grow. This is how you get to overcome a lot of things and a lot of challenges without the shenanigan of it in general. And this is it. Like, having no answer is an answer to me. Having no expectation is the standard for me. Having like I start just looking at things so different and I cannot unsee it anymore. So yeah, if you're at a place in your life where you're just looking for answers, running after this, chasing a feeling, chasing that, sit down, look through it inside you. If you're searching for love, it's inside you. Find it. Love yourself. If you're searching for money, it's also inside you. You have to heal your wounds and heal your relationship with money and actually start taking actions, because it's not going to be like, ooh, poof, here's money, right? So it's basically you have to work from the inside out. That's why I was reading, like last month, I was reading a book called Start With Why, and it helped me like a lot reflect on new things and stuff. I would definitely recommend it to you. It's by Simon Sinek. So read it. Read books, journal, and whenever you feel like you want to chase something or someone, sit down with yourself and start writing, what kind of feeling I'm chasing? What am I expecting from this person? And because all of these questions are going to help you answer better. Because if you're chasing a feeling, you're chasing validation. Well, I can validate my own emotions. I feel so calm right now, and I'm so grateful for being calm right now. I don't need to disturb this calmness with anyone else. If you are at a place where you're chasing someone, be like, what is the feeling, or what is it that I'm looking for from this someone? Like, what am I expecting? Am I expecting them to talk back to me? Am I expecting them to validate my emotions? Am I expecting them to give me something? Am I expecting them to answer my questions? Am I? So all of these are expectations. Of course, I am all about like building healthy communication and talk to people and actually express things and allowing them to also express things. But whenever you're in this emotional state, try to sit down with who you are, listen to yourself, because yourself is basically going to tell you exactly what it needs. And if you're chasing a feeling, like the dopamine of like receiving a new text, the dopamine of like, oh my god, I can't get enough of this, is the time that you actually have to sit down with yourself and look for that feeling that would come from within you. Because you are the love you're looking for. You are the value that you're looking for. You're also the expectation that you're looking for. So yeah, that's pretty much what I wanted to share on today's video. And thank you guys for watching. See you guys on my next video tomorrow. Bye bye.